Welcome back, stock market traders. And the sell-off continued today, Thursday, January 2022. Let's look at some charts. Start off with the S&P 500. This is a daily chart, and today was a very tricky open. As mentioned in the previous video, the easiest setup would have been a gap lower and a bounce off this level, the green level, right under 4,500, but that didn't happen. It opened higher. It tried to push above all these resistance points of this red zone between 4,600 and 4,570, and it actually got to the top of that range, 4,600, and from there it just reversed lower. This should have acted as support, and it failed and sold up very rapidly during the last couple of hours of trading, especially the last hour. And this green zone didn't even really act as a support. So if tomorrow we open flattish, I would expect that zone to act as resistance or support. If we have a big sell-off, 44.50 would be light support. If not, definitely the 200-day moving average, especially we haven't visited that level of the 200-day moving average in months. If that fails, there's some support around 43.75. You might think that it's so far away, but when you think about it, it's only about 100 points away. And today's trading range was more than 100 points. Of all these levels, the one that I'll be watching very closely will be the 200-day moving average. And I'll be looking for any signs of a reversal to play an oversold bounce. Let's now take a look at the Nasdaq 100. Same as the S&P 500, it gapped higher, pushed higher, found resistance around that level, which was 15,350, and reversed lowered. What should have been support, failed there, failed the 200-day moving average, and this support also 14,900, and it closed right around this level, 14,800. So for tomorrow, levels I'll be watching very closely will be around today's close, today's low, around 14,800. And if that fails, the next strong support that I see is all the way down here, right around 14,500. It is obvious that the path of least resistance is south, but I think we're getting close to a oversold bounce. Let's call it just a bounce because you never really know how high it can go. Who knows? It could be a bounce that can take us to new all-time highs. I'll just play it session by session. Let's now take a look at the industrial Dow Jones Industrial Average. This one was one of the strongest indices of all, and today it just got slaughtered. Try to push above the 100-day moving average where that 5-day moving average converged and reversed lower from there. Couldn't even find support around that 200-day moving average, and it closed way below it. It did find support around 34, right under 34,700, which was the low from a few weeks ago. So this zone will be important for tomorrow. Resistance will be the 200-day moving average. Support will be one down here, right under 34,500. And the other strong support that I can see will be around 34,000, which is about 700 points away. You might think that's a lot of points, but trust me, it can quickly sell off all the way down to that level. You see the volatility today. Definitely the path of least resistance is south. This chart became very choppy very quickly, but like the rest of the indices, wait for a quick bounce, we'll wait for a bounce, and we'll take it from there. Let's now take a look at the Semiconductor Index. And this one here, it just got worse, thinking it could at least hold that 100-day moving average, but it failed. This is the one that actually gave me clues early in the morning at the open, while all the indices, the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, they were going north. This one was actually going south. So that divergence prevented me from either considering going long. I wanted to see if the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 would follow semiconductor to the downside or vice versa. And it turned up and was very choppy. And I saw those divergences that I did not like, so I stayed away from it, from the market today. For tomorrow, definitely, this will be strong resistance, the 200-day moving average up here also, which was a low end of this range that lasted a few months. For support will be the 200-day moving average and the 3450. So I would expect very strong support around that area and expect a big bounce from that area, especially coincides with the other indices at very strong resistance, a very strong, if they hit very strong support levels at the same time. And when I say a strong support, I mean a huge, reversal that you just see if you're looking at intraday charts. Kind of the inverse of what happened today during the last hour. You saw the big aggressive sell off. Well, when it has a big quick bounce, it's kind of the same thing, but instead of, obviously going down, it's actually going up. Balmy genius. Now the Russell 2000 small caps. What can I say about this one? This one just gets worse. You can say that it's extremely oversold, but this one is just below that was very strong support around 210. That range that it lasted almost about a year now is below that level. So expect that to act as very, very strong resistance on the way up if we even get that far up after a bounce. For support, I don't see much support until we get down to this level around 196, 197, which was a gap a year ago. But I don't think I would even consider buying this one, even if I see a bounce off that level. I would rather buy the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq or even the semis. But that can change if I see really good price action. Anyways, tomorrow will be a very interesting day, I think. So good luck trading tomorrow, guys. And thanks for stopping by.